Sure. Well, the big thing that we've been working on the last 90 days has been upgrading the broadband for our K-12 schools. We just completed the RFP process, and we're going to end up connecting every school in the state of Arkansas to an advanced broadband network. About 100 kilobits per user. Initially, it's going up to 1 gig eventually, so in the next few years. But we've already built in the capacity to do that. So. Right, so we're going to continue to upgrade our cybersecurity structure. That's priority number one. Number two is discuss IT workforce, because I was just in one of my divisions just this past week, and the director of that division said, "Oh, how many people in this room have the ability to retire today?" And out of the 16 people in the room, all but 4 raised their hands. So tomorrow I could have a huge gaping hole. And then I guess the corollary to that is then recruiting, right? Because recruiting new talent to the state of Arkansas to fill these roles. Well, I guess it's transforming the culture to be that we're going to be a test bed for our own strategies, and that starts with our previous discussion about BYOD. And so if we're going to make BYOD work with all the security applications, everything else that has to happen internally before we start marketing it to our sister agencies. You know, my biggest challenge is trying to stay ahead of the cybersecurity space. And one of the things I'm looking forward to taking away from this is what other people are doing in cybersecurity space, whether it's risk reinsurance or whether it's new gateways that they're putting in. I'm trying to understand that. And then the SIM. Those would be the things I'm trying to look for from the cybersecurity standpoint. And that's the big one. Well, we're looking at new SIM solutions. That's we've had an open source SIM that requires us to do a lot of manual event monitoring. And as a result, we we spend about 80 hours of actual time looking through log files on a weekly basis, man hours. And that was something we have to improve, do some automation. Assessing risk is the first one, because I don't think anyone, at least I don't, nor anyone in my agency, has a full understanding of the risk at all the individual agencies. I mean, in Arkansas, we have 54 cabinet departments, and they can make some of their own decisions, and fully understanding the data they have, which we're part of the way down that process, not all the way there. So the second thing would be getting everyone to agree about a security framework. We have a working group meeting right now that's trying to put together an agreed security framework. And then the third point is education of the whole state workforce, not just the IT employees, but about the cyber attacks that have ongoing and how their role in preventing those. That's a great question. We're investigating, looking at the Internet of Things and the other emerging technologies through a more aggressive portfolio review process. We're trying to get ahead of that power curve. And so what are the benefits that we're going to realize? And that starts the first conversation. The second conversation obviously is about cost. You know, the cost has to be a driver in that. And so we're trying to take small bites of the apple, work with vendors to see, like, we'll give us a demonstration project for a defined period of time to see if we can realize the benefits of your solution. Well, you know, if you talk to Andy Osmond over at Homeland Security, he talks about the second most important thing is information sharing, particularly in the cyberspace, right? So that as we encounter problems and issues, that we share the best practices back across the force of IT professionals in government. And so it doesn't matter whether it's a state or local jurisdiction or the federal jurisdiction. As long as we're sharing the thoughts and what's going on, we're going to achieve a lot as a public sector.